Hey guys, Revan here, and welcome back to MC Eternal, episode 11, where today we're going to see if we can't get our NuclearCraft Fusion reactor up and running and hopefully not have it melt down on us. So sit back, enjoy the video, and let's see what we can't get done. Okay, well, last episode we left it off where we had just completed building our NuclearCraft Fusion reactor here. We chose to only go for one spacer in between the core and the electromagnetic ring, mainly because of the fact that we decided we need to get access to the outside ring here for water coolers as well as power. So I am curious. Like I said, it won't show me what the size of the reactor is until I actually turn it on. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put this lever here so we can turn the machine on and off, and we're going to give it just a quick power up before we put any of the coolers on. I don't intend to keep this running for any amount of time here. I just want to see if it's a Torrid 1 or a Torrid 2. And we'll put you down there, and let's see, we'll put 2 points right here. And the reason I'm using so many points is you really want to make sure that the rings receive enough power. I've had it before where it'll get all the way around and then the last ring will just kind of flicker on and off, and I'll see if I can show you guys that in a second. Oh, it's not where I wanted you. There we go. And I think I'm going to take off hover mode here because that's getting a little bit annoying. All right, so let's just switch this over to our main channel and turn off the limits on these flux points. Disable limit and disable, and then we should just have the ones on the bottom. I'm not sure if we're going to need 4 on the bottom, but we'll see what happens if we just use 2. It's another good thing about building this inside of this compact machine. If for whatever reason the reactor fails, it's not going to make a huge mess. We'll just have to ditch the compact machine probably, because these are not fun to clean up. I've tried playing with these in other packs, and inevitably the reactor always seems to melt down. And yes, so you see how we have green and red. So the red means that the electromagnet is not powered. The green are all powered, so it is struggling to receive power near the outside here. So I think if we just toss a few more of our points on, table limit, and come over here. So I did a little bit of research on this and found out that the optimal cooling for this is 5,000 ticks of cooling. So if we can get water coolers that will provide us 5,000 ticks of cooling, we should be running at 100%. Now, I don't know if that means 100% efficiency, and I'll never have to worry about the reactor melting down on me, or if it just means 100% efficiency as far as power output goes. But so the rings are lit, and then if we want to start this, we would just have to come over here and attach a point to the reactor itself, and that would heat up, and it looks like it got enough power. And as you can see, the temperature is slowly rising, so we can actually turn that off, and I believe we should be able to take our kind of recycle our points here, trying not to actually like hit any of the magnets. So I can't imagine that would be a good thing, but we're just going to take up these plugs, and then we'll start on crafting up some of the water coolers so that when we turn this back on, we can actually have this up and running and not really have to worry about that. But as you can see, we have power going to the reactor itself. Efficiency 0, obviously, since it's turned off. The temperature is going back down. We have our rings on the outside, and I don't think I'm gonna take this just in case. I don't want it like starting back up for any particular reason. What? So this is what happens when a reactor melts down. It's can I salvage any of this stuff? Where's the point is inside somehow. Ow. I mean, luckily I got good enough things, but yeah, that's gonna take me a while to remake all this. So I'll I'll be back when I have recrafted a reactor. So be right back. Okay, well, after a minor setback there, we're just gonna pretend like that never happened, and I haven't been up here crafting things for the past hour and a half. But anyways, live and let live, you know. We learned something today. Do not take the power away from electromagnets. It's bad, bad, bad. Anywho, right now I am crafting up some of the dense infinite water sources. We also want to grab some of the coolers. Which ones? We're looking for the active fluid cooler. So let's just grab a pattern for this, and then I'm sure we're gonna have to teach it how to make cauldrons as well. We can kind of come over. We can just come over here to our interface terminal and just pick a couple that don't really have anything in them. There we go. Now, if we want, I'm trying to think how many we need. So the water cooler itself only takes away, I think it's 50 is its base heat that it removes. 50 heat per tick, and you need a total of 5,000. But if you have them placed in a certain way, you can quadruple the cooling properties. And from what the research I did, you need to be right at 5,000 heat per tick being taken away. Obviously, the bigger the reactor, the more pumps you're going to need, but so I'm not sure how many of these we're going to need. I'm going to just don't have that. I want to craft them. I think I'm going to craft up like 32 to start with, and we'll kind of see where that takes us. How are we doing on our dense cubes? Okay, so we have 5 out of, I think I ordered 10. My plan is to just put one in each corner and see what that does. One above, one below, and see if how close to the 5,000 that gets us. Additionally, we're going to need a plug for transfer of the power. Let me just. Okay, we don't have anything. Good to know. Ooh, we are running low on Eyes of Ender, it appears. I did this, and I'm not even sure, like, once we get this up and running, like I said, I've had issues in the past with fusion reactors and them being not reliable in the least bit. That just may be my skill with NuclearCraft, but so I don't know truly know what they produce. Usually I get one up and running, I count it, for the achievement for the pack, and then I take it down because I have something that produces more energy than I need at the time anyways. So what else are we gonna need? We have the cooling. We should probably bring a comparator and some redstone. I don't know if we'll have the room for it, but we can kind of make a makeshift on-off switch for the reactor that if it gets to a certain temperature, it'll output a certain redstone signal, and it can wrap around on itself and shut itself off. We should probably also get a repeater and a building block like a stone brick or something like that. So let's just take one more look at our crafting. All right, so we still have 4 of the dense cubes left, and looks like we finished up our coolers. So let's grab these, and let's also grab the dense water cubes that we've already have. And we can at least get a start on seeing what this is going to produce for us. Oh, we got an achievement, temperature control. All right, so if we come back into our room, which is now spick and span and not radioactive in the least bit, I just mined up the cube and threw it out and made another one, and then re-put everything in the way that it was. So the plan is I'm going to put a cube on each corner, and from my understanding, if I place 2 water coolers right there and then go to the opposite side of the reactor on the bottom, if I put 2 of them down here, or 4 of them actually, they're the exact opposite of these. So these 2 are the opposites of these 2 down here, and these 2 over here are the opposite of those 2 up there. So if I do that for every side, we should get to somewhere around the 5,000 that we need. Okay, so we are going to attempt to put our flex points back on. This time, however, we are... we didn't bring a lever. So let me go grab a lever real quick, and I'll be back. Okay, we got our lever, and it turned out that an additional 2 dense water cubes had finished up their processing. Still a couple being crafted, but where are we? We need... I don't think we'll have enough water coolers to do many more of these cubes anyways. Yeah, 32 is gonna be perfect. So now if we toss on our flex points, remember this time we are never ever taking these flex points off, and we are praying to Jeebus that our system never goes down. I think one thing you could do is once these get all set up, you could switch the power over to the reactor itself. That way, if the reactor stopped, those would stop, and, you know, stuff and things. All right. Lever. And is everything lit? Everything is lit. What are we looking like for temperature change? I'm just seeing if it would show cooling in any way, shape, or form. Doesn't look like it shows cooling. So let's just plug this in and see what happens. Okay. So the temperature is going up. Active cooling, we have 10,400. So we need to take that down to 5,000. So let's see if we take one of you off on each side over here. Let's see. Okay, now we're at 96. Bottom and top. I'm just trying to take them off in tandem to get the most heating taken away. We are at 8,000. So each 4 that I take away seems like it's taking away 1,000. 6,400. All right. What if I take you, and I think it would be this one down here. That gives us 5,600. If we take you off, we're at 4,900. So what happens if I just toss you right there? 5,000 exactly. Okay, so that should mean our efficiency will get to 100% if what I read is true. Yeah, it says 100% efficiency. Now the temperature is still changing. I'm hoping that it eventually will kind of steady out there. And let's take our comparator, and we can put you right there, and we want you to get the full 15. So that's 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that should, when the reactor gets to a high enough temperature, that should run a redstone signal all the way over and shut it off until the temperature drops. I don't know what that temperature is going to be, but and power gen, we are, let's see, how do we figure out what our power is? We are currently generating 12,000 RF a tick, which really isn't a whole lot. Do I have void? I do have void output overflow, so that shouldn't be an issue there. Later on, we can worry about taking out the neutron fluid and stuff like that, but I don't really think that I'm gonna need to too much. But I'm gonna sit here and watch this for a little bit, and then I'll bring you guys back when the temperature either stabilizes or the reactor itself starts shutting off. So hopefully the next time I see you, this is still up and running and not just another big pile of goo, because if it is, I may just have to say no thank you to NuclearCraft. Be right back, guys. Okay, well, while we're waiting for our fusion generator to heat up to acceptable levels and hopefully not blow up on us and cause more fun, I thought I'd kind of run you through my little room that I have here. I brought this up last episode about the making of the calcium sulfate, but I didn't really run through because I did it on stream. So I figure I'd just kind of take you through what's all involved to make the calcium sulfate, which is needed for the crystalline, the crystal binder that you need to actually craft the fusion core in there. So again, the end product is calcium sulfate. That is obtained by putting calcium sulfate solution inside of a crystallizer. In order to get the calcium sulfate solution, you need a chemical reactor that is being fed fluorite. And fluorite is obtained from diorite, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see, crushed fluorite. That is made by, let's see, crystallite rock crusher. Yes, diorite inside the rock crusher. So we currently don't have any fluorite being made, but if I take, let's say, just a stack of diorite here and toss it in my rock crusher, that should automatically get fed into the fluid enricher. So the crushed fluorite in water inside of a fluid enricher is going to make the is going to make the fluorite water, I believe. So once this starts, and again, I don't actually have any speed upgrades on any of these because the amount of calcium sulfate you need is very small. So just setting this up and kind of letting it run in the background is going to get you more than enough of the calcium sulfate. I do have to set something up for borax later in order to make the scrubbers so that I can actually access my fission reactor without dying. But yes, so the crushed fluorite, which again is gotten from diorite in the rock crusher, is then transferred over into the chemical reactor in the form of fluorite water. That is being mixed with sulfuric acid. Now the sulfuric acid is being made by combining water and sulfur trioxide. So sulfur trioxide is kind of just what it sounds like. It's sulfur that you melt down in the melter, and then you're combining it with oxygen to make sulfur dioxide. The sulfur dioxide is then turned into another chemical reactor and again mixed with oxygen to make sulfur trioxide. So 3 oxides. And that is then being mixed with water to make sulfuric acid. So then again, the sulfuric acid is mixed with the fluorite water, and that is making the calcium sulfate solution, which is then put into this crystallizer here and turned into calcium sulfates. So the other part of this that you need is obviously the oxygen. So I am getting the oxygen from an electrolyzer that is just simply breaking the water up into 3 parts. It's breaking it up into hydrogen, oxygen, and deuterium. And I just have these in these black hole tanks so I can store pretty much unlimited amount. I don't really ever have to worry about it. But the only thing I'm really utilizing is the oxygen. Now, the fusion reactor can actually run only on hydrogen. It's not as efficient as far as energy outputs, But that is something that you can look into if you just want to get one and get it running for either a quest or some I don't want to say some more baseline power generation, but I mean, it should still produce a decent amount. It just won't be quite as much. I think if we come to our NuclearCraft Fusion, if I can spell it correctly, and come to the actual reactor, hydrogen and hydrogen will make about 44,200 RF per tick. It is saying the max power. Now, I'm not sure if that means that's a max size reactor, or if that's just, you know, what a reactor with 100% efficiency will put out. Again, I am not a pro in any way, shape, or form at NuclearCraft, as evidenced from earlier when absolutely nothing bad happened. Ever. I have never had issues with NuclearCraft in the past. I swear. Maybe. Anyways, so over here, I just have a supercooler being worked with 3 of the helium collectors. I do have 2 of the compacts. I started off with just 4, and I've just slowly been building up, and just to have an ultimate fluid tank full of helium. I don't really need it, but helium, again, is another fuel that you can use for the fusion reactor itself. So the fusion reactor does have some fairly cheap fuels that you can use for it. The biggest take is just in constructing it, because it took a lot of resources to craft that thing. Like the mechanism reactor that we have down there, the fission reactors that we have, heck, our potato farm, like they pale in comparison to the amount of resources that the fusion reactor takes. But yeah, I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer for our fusion reactor here to spin up to full power. We can give it a quick check, and let's see where we are sitting with this. So our temperature is still very, very low. It's not going up very fast, but it is going up. So that's one of the things that I am somewhat concerned about. And if I check down here, my redstone output is almost getting to the point where it wants to turn off the machine, and the power is not really there. One thing I should probably do is grab a plug. So let me just grab a plug real quick. And we got our plug. So I'm just going to toss this on here, because one thing I'm not sure of is I'm not sure if the redstone signal is being affected in any way, shape, or form by the amount of energy that we have stored in here. So if I just toss this over to storage and disable limits, and then we should check, yeah, our power level is gone. Okay, so our redstone signal did not go down. So the redstone signal is solely supposed to be affected by the temperature. And I'm not really sure what the cutoff is. Like, it shows, you know, a max temperature of, what is that, 20 million kelvins, but I don't know if that's the meltdown point or if the meltdown point is somewhere in between that. But the reactor should shut off once we get all the way over here. So I'm going to sit here and watch this, and then once it shuts off, I'll show you guys what it does. Okay, so I've been sitting here for quite some time waiting for this reactor to heat up, and what I've been noticing is my temperature is still going up. However, the temperature change, meaning how fast it's going up, goes down about once every second or so. So I am thinking that this thing is going to stabilize, so I'm going to take a chance and leave it be for a little bit. As you can see, I was just trying to see how far the redstone signal would go. I want to say it's going to stop right here, but I put another piece of redstone here just in case. But since we are nowhere near meltdown temperatures, I kind of feel safe to leave it. And what I wanted to do for the rest of the episode is to look into going to a dimension. So I've kind of been preparing myself for that by making some rich slag here, and I'll show you why in a second. If I take rich slag and I combine it with an item, in this case thorium, it gives me regular slag. And I have a 75% chance of getting regular slag every time that it produces an ore. So as you can see, I got some more. And what I want to do is let's see if I can craft, if I can spell here, a couple morbs. Reason being is I kind of want to go to the Ratlantis. I haven't been there yet. I haven't messed with rats at all. So I may have to get into that for some of the achievements for it. But what I'm thinking is if we come up to shop and go down to the black market, we can actually purchase the chunky cheese token for 3,000. And this should allow us to get into Ratlantis. So it says right click anywhere to open a portal to Ratlantis. I'm going to take a risk here. And I'm going to leave this bad boy to do what it does. Hopefully I'll have enough time to get to Ratlantis, kind of do a quick once over of the situation there to kind of get an idea what we're in for, and get back and not have this be a big pile of goo. So wish me luck, guys. Now it says just to right click anywhere. We'll see. Okay, so yep, we just walk in. And we are here. Looks like we have some aqueducts. Hey, Mr. Rat Statue, how you doing? Is that gold on top? Thank you. So I'm just gonna look around a little bit, and if I find anything interesting, I'll bring you guys back. Okay, well, I found my first new mob. It's some type of floating fireball. So, what I'm gonna do is see if I can capture him, because I think we need. Oh, where'd you go? There we go. Gotta catch them all. Now, as I'm flying around, I'm finding a lot of these buildings or structures as well as these statues, and I've been digging through a lot of them trying to figure out, you know, if there's anything inside. Why turn it on to fast mode? And the only thing I'm finding are gold blocks, so I'm not finding any treasure chests or anything of that nature. So it is kind of, I'm assuming if there's anything in here, it's either going to be in a dungeon or it's going to be special mobs that come out at night. So I'm going to keep looking and hopefully we find something. Ah, what are you? We got a little bit of a pirate ship action going down here. What are you? A pirate. Alright, well, how about, yes, we will capture you. So, I have been seeing a couple of normal structures. We have that little portal to that weird little puzzle dimension that I don't really understand. And I did come across one of the dungeon towers, but that is really about it. Everything is jungle. Things are definitely picking up now that it's nighttime. No structure that I have found seems to have any hidden treasure or anything like that in it. Even these were, you know, they're pretty deep. You think there'd be something underneath, but no, it's just hollow. Nothing fun to take. And I want to see if I can find another one of those pirates so that I can actually kill them. And I'm not sure if that's an achievement or not, but I am on the hunt. Okay, so this is new and exceedingly creepy. I have no idea what this stuff is. What do we got here? Jungle Myrmex resin. I think this is a Betweensland mod. No, ice and fire. What's down here? Any... Oh. Is this just like a dungeon? Kind of seems that way. Well, if I find anything cool, I'll let you guys know. Okay, well, I didn't find anything in here. It just seems like it's 4 little caverns. One of them had some cocoons, some babies in it. I killed all of them. but there was no boss or anything like that. But I do hear, hello. Are you ready, kids? What do we get? We got a rat pelt, raw rats, and that's about it. But we got a whole lot of you guys over here. Like, whoa! Ouch. What are these guys called, anyways? Ratlantian spirits. Guys are hard to hit. So we did get a pirate hat, but it is almost out of. Oh, that guy hurt. It's almost out of durability. What is this guy? This looks like one of the big ones. So it won't let me capture him. Oh, I guess that was a feral Ratlantian, and I got feral rat claws. Okay, so we found something interesting. This is Mermax Queen. Ugh. And she's unpleasant, but she's dead. So, are we getting anything good from? Ow! Now what is hitting me? So we got Jungle Mermax Resin Chunk. A sapphire. Is that really it? I guess so. So killing the queen didn't really get us anything good. So I'm not really sure what their point is, but I've been flying around here for quite some time, and you know, I will confirm during the day, you know, other than places like this, it's pretty barren. There's not a whole lot going on. And then at night, it seems to really only be the little wisp type creatures and the occasional Ratlantian as well as the pirate guys. But I've even raided a few of the dungeons, the dungeon towers. I think they're called the battle towers. Didn't get any special loot from there. I haven't been able to find any of the flowers that I'm looking for. I believe it's the blue orchid can be used with the archaeologist to find the rat glove flower. The rat glove flower is used to make the petals, but it says that the rat glove flower spawns in Ratlantis pretty much everywhere. It's a very, very low chance, so that might be why I didn't find anything, but there is a chance for it to spawn, so I may just have to do this some other day where I just fly around aimlessly for hours on end looking for one flower, because if I can bypass doing the rats, I'm not going to be disappointed. But let's head back to the base real quick and check on our reactor and just keep our fingers crossed that it's not a puddle. Moment of truth. When we come over here and we click on this, we still have a reactor. Oh, all right. Yeah. All right, so where is this thing sitting at? I think I still have the plague. No, plague went away. Something gave me the plague over there. My hunger was going insane. So we are sitting at a temperature change of 769, and it looks like it's still going down very slowly. Efficiency, we're still at 98.3. It seems like it's going to take a very long time for this thing to reach 100% efficiency, but we are producing 339,000 RF a tick with this small little reactor right here. So if we could build a bigger one outside, I think the max one is 27 blocks long, something around there, but we would be producing an obscene amount of power, which we don't need. We'd also be going through a lot of fuel. So one thing I do want to double check on while we have the time before we go, what is my lithium store looking like? Let's see. This tank is full. That tank is full. I'm going to take a wild guess here. This tank is full. So we are burning through the lithium dust. So we're constantly having to produce it, which is not a bad thing. but we've only eaten into one of our stacks here, so we still have an extra 6 stacks before these really start going at it. So I think we're okay with the chemical oxidizer. Our gaseous lithium is dropping down, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on that. That may have just because I wasn't here and I wasn't paying attention to the day-night cycles, but I suppose it wouldn't hurt to make another chemical oxidizer and possibly another neutron activator up there. But I think, because I don't want to wait another couple hours for this guy in here to fully charge up, I think I'm going to call it an episode there. So, as always, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And just remember, if you take one thing, just one thing away from this episode, it's that I am a god at NuclearCraft. Nothing ever goes wrong. Nothing ever happened, okay? Just remember that. You saw nothing. Everything was perfect the first time through, and we'll just kind of leave it at that. But as always, if you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It helps the channel out a lot. And I will see you guys next time. So stay awesome. See you later.